Good evening and happy Monday. Hey, listen, I remember I used to tap dance like my man. I used to get down. I'm just joking. Uh, and Gregory Hines was a man. I enjoyed first of all, I liked his acting as well as his dancing. He was cool. Yeah, he's another one who went too early, but he would have been up there in age if he had still been alive today. I heard that uh, what's her name? Somebody passed away. Uh, Roberta Flack, I believe, passed away today. I think she was 88 or yesterday, one of these days. So she's gone, 88. So hopefully everybody can hear me. I know early. I start at 7 o'clock on the East, so I'm here. I see Anissa already put some stuff in the chat, so I don't know if she's going to come back, but I'm going to answer one of her questions or respond to one of her statements. And so welcome aboard, everybody. And I'll give you a chance to come in the chat and greet you as you come in. Here we are with part 4 of Black folks in a post DEI era. But we're gonna talk a little bit about DOGE and those kind of things. So I'll get into those kind of things. But first, I'm gonna have a couple of icebreakers, or at least one that I want to share with you when people come here and start chiming in a few minutes. So it's always early. I always start on time. Maybe I should put some more music to this and give people an opportunity to come in before we get started. But anyway, there's no shortage of material about what's going on in the first 30 days, now 35 days or so of the Trump administration. I mean, he's moving fast. He's pissing people off. The Dems don't know what to do about it. But that email that Elon Musk sent out to everybody, give me 5 bullet points by Monday or else you'll get fired. I thought that was a real overreach. And I still have a bunch of buddies and folks and acquaintances and friends who still work for the federal government. And they all got that email. They all got the email. I told them, I said, listen, man, at the very least, you guys are on the books. You're a legitimate government employee. So if you're getting all that information. But I was kind of glad that some of the organizations checked their employees. When I was a supervisor, we couldn't just tell somebody, give me your weekly significant activities or else you're fired, by a certain time. That's not how the government works. Hey, what's going on, Catellia? How you doing? Welcome aboard. So I thought that message from Elon was an overreach. But here's what I really thought. The second thing is he got permission to do that. He didn't just do that on his own. I think he floated that idea through Trump. And Trump told him to go ahead and do it so he could rattle people. I think that's what it is. I think that was a fire for effect. In the service, the artillerymen or whatever, they have a tactic called fire for effect. And I think that's exactly what that was. Something to shake up the workforce, let them know that they're coming. I don't think it was necessary, but that's what that was. Because obviously a bunch of managers told their people not to respond to that message. When I say managers, I mean a high-level brass. So wait a minute, hold up. Don't worry about this particular message. But I think President Trump was behind that, and he just uses Elon Musk to be the bad guy and the fall guy for these kind of things. But, I think they need to be careful with that kind of stuff. Also, before we get into the DOGE thing, because I'm still, I'm still dealing with the winter chest thing once from, when I talk, I get a little winded. But last week, Armanize and I, we teamed up and we did a reaction video to 8x8 skit. And I thought it was pretty good. So I think anybody who missed that should go back and look at the replay. It wasn't too long. It was just a 16-minute skit that we made into a whole show of back and forth. Then Trey Taylor jumped on. And I think we had some good discussions on the scenario of a wife finding out that her husband was sitting on 2.5 million bucks worth of collectibles. So go back to last Monday and check that replay out. I think that would be beneficial. I thought it was pretty good, so probably you're gonna seek out Harmonize again and maybe make some more collabs on whatever topic. There's no shortage of topics to talk about. Okay, so I'm just like kind of making small talk so more people come in and make yourself identified in the chat. Catilia, I'm glad you're here. I can count on you to be here. I'm sure a few other folks will show up. But before we get into DOGE and how that's really impacting the government and how to look at it from my perspective, and maybe I can help other people with their perspective, we had a pretty decent, we had some fun on the barbershop last week on Friday. And we had gotten to some good conversations. And Eda Man showed up, and so did we'll see, because I'm gonna do a clip. Prototype Dad showed up too, and so we were talking about men and discipline. Young men. What do you tell young men about discipline when it comes to sexual encounters? And everybody, we were like in violent agreement, like we were disagreeing, but we were agreeing. But just like some folks, when everybody has an idea of what to do, even though they're all right, some people want to be more right than others. And in the truth, it was a combination of all the above. Man, so we had a pretty good time talking about it. So in a couple of minutes, I want to show that clip because JT says something in that clip that I want to expound upon after I show the clip. And that has really nothing to do with why we're here tonight, other than I thought it was an interesting take on from the barbershop on what we should tell young men. And JT coined a new phrase for me, and I'm gonna tell you what I did with it once he says it. Let me see. Anybody else coming in this thing? I know it's early. When I don't know if everybody's a few of us on the East Coast, but I know a lot of people on the left coast and Midwest and things of that nature. But I'm gonna just keep plowing through because people do come in a little late. So I'll just take my time. Okay, so I was looking forward to this one. All right, so listen. So I'm gonna show this clip. It's a really, really short clip of our conversation on the barbershop on Friday. And I want you guys to pick up on what JT says as part of the barbershop. And then I'm gonna stop the clip and I'm gonna say a couple of things. And then once we start talking about DOGE, Anissa had put a question up there that I want to address. And I was going to address this as part of the show anyway. She was talking about the 4-star Joint Chief of Staff who was removed. And I want to talk about that in general because I was going to cover that. So we're going to hit that one. So hopefully she shows back up and she'll hear what my response to that would be. And so we'll deal with that. She was here early too. That was waiting for me, by the way. And I don't know if it was waiting for me, but she just felt compelled to write it. So even before the show started, that statement, comment, question, all that was right there. She had a couple of others as well. So it's really strange, but I mean, I'm not mad at it because a lot of people had an issue with that 4-star general being removed. And I think they shouldn't have, because it's kind of a typical thing that happens. All right, so let's get started. I'm going to play the clip. It's real short, and then I'm going to talk about why I'm playing it. All right. All right. So here's the clip. that's up there. And the funny thing about it, this was the show was called, Men Stop Pussyfooting Around, and tell women the truth. But okay, so this is the conversation with, between us, and we're talking about, men. Would you tell a young man who is just getting ready to become sexually active? And, some people like me talk about consequences. Some people say protect yourself at all time. Another guy said, well, teach your sons to avoid having sex with girls, if you can, because he should be honoring them, and have some feeling for them and blah, blah, blah. And then either man said, listen, you can't tell a guy not to have sex. Well, you can, but you need to tell him the whole story. And then there's always a chain of thought is us old guys. If we don't tell a young man what we did to dodge a bullet, tell him, yeah, you know what? When I was your age, I went willy-nilly. I went buck wild. Some guys did. I would have if I could have, but I did my share. So if you don't tell young men that, then they know you're lying when you're telling them not to do it when you did it. So you got to tell them, yeah, I dodged a bullet. And so I'm telling you this way so you could avoid dodging those bullets. Well, anyway, so here's this conversation. And then I'm going to stop it. And you guys, then I'm going to let you know why I stopped it.
And now he's going to argue that there's no discipline. It's just normal for people to put on condoms. If we had most of these men put on condoms, they literally, we wouldn't have all these practices that we see if every man had all the condoms ain't break. Like, let's stop.
If they broke or if they break or if they didn't break, I think putting the parameters way before the condom is
nobody can argue with that.
It's the option. You know what I'm saying? It's like,
yeah. Either man, how could you argue with what Prototype just said? I think you go wrong, Prototype.
Priority. Like that's more the priority than just saying put on a condom with the last minute. That's
I get what you said, but just like Coach Ferg said, if his daddy would have came in there with that BS talking about he don't need to have sex, Coach Ferg would have heard it come in one ear and went out the other. So like we gotta stop this. Like we telling young men to do shit we didn't do. I say like, come on, man. Like you got
it's the same as fast money. Like what you gonna tell a young man about money? Hey, if this money's fast like this, this probably ain't the right way. You don't got no problem with telling them not to sell drugs. You know what I'm saying? You'll tell them don't sell drugs.
Right.
But you'll tell them to put a condom on.
Especially with a strag, right? And she a strag too. And dog.
Come on, man.
I agree with Prototype. Control your emotions. Yeah.
You know what I learned? I was talking to this 18-year-old the other day. And he said the reason I don't listen to people over 60 is because they always give me advice that they wouldn't follow if they was my age. He told me that shit stuck me. He said, they tell me not to do this shit. And when they was that age, they was stroking, they was doing all this stuff they told me not to
do. But either man, that's in his imagination. Because guess what? He wasn't living during that time, so he can come with. We've been living during his time. But this is the thing. This is what I think too. A lot of us think that hoes are all evil. Right? It's some sweethearts out there, bro. But they're just hoes. There's some sweethearts out there, dog. It's some women that are hoish as hell, but they got great personalities, dog. We have in our mind, and I don't know where the old folks get this from. I don't know where the men get it from. If you talk to women, you understand that one of the things is that we just like being around women. And you can have some women that are hoish, but they are sweethearts. At least until you get them pregnant. This is what'll get you too. You have to. It goes to the point of what Prototype was just saying. When it comes down to, you got to put your emotions in check, bro. You sit there and talk to a woman. Let me tell you, you sit there and talk to a woman, and she could be hoish as all. But that woman can sit back and acquiesce to everything you do to her.
You know what's real is that you can lose your life chasing.
Okay. Ode to the sweet hoes, man. I couldn't stop laughing when he said that. They got some, we got some sweet hoes out there. And I just had to say, listen, he said, ode to the sweet hoes. And, it's funny. So you can see me and Coach Ferg, we're laughing our asses off when he came out with that ode to the sweet hoes stuff. And it's pretty funny because I immediately said, okay, listen, you know what? I could probably make a song out of this because I know some of you guys know that I have this AI generator, so I can create some lyrics, and the lyrics then I could put it into another AI application, and they could put a tune and a voice in a song, like just if it's out of a studio, and it's really good. So I had no idea what kind of song would come out if I put in, ode to the sweet hoes or sweet whores or whatever. And so I did it. I did a little experiment. And what I want to do as a little sideway before we get into D.O.G.E and all the seriousness stuff, I want to play the song that came out of this thing. And I'm gonna make it big. So if you want to, you can follow with the words. And if I had a play about, I don't know, anything that had a portion of it where you're talking about the ladies, or a pimp who had ladies who were working the street, or high escorts or whatever, and we wanted to have a play where somebody was singing a part to the whores of the street, this would be a perfect song for that. So I want to play that. It's not that long, of course. These are short songs, but I'm gonna make this the words big so you can read them. I said, this sounds pretty good, and the lyrics I thought were pretty good. Now, if I should say so myself. So stay tuned. I'm gonna play that for you guys.
In the city's glow where shadows dance, they move like whispers of fleeting glance. Hearts adorned with stories untold, in midnight's embrace the warmth unfolds. Oh, sweet hearts of the moonlit night, carrying dreams in the soft twilight. Laughter like honey, they mend the souls, and their tender arms, the broken feel whole. In smoky borders where the secrets lie, they weave their magic while the world passes by. With a smile that shines like the brightest star, they paint the night with who they are. Oh, sweet horse of the moonlit night, carrying dreams in soft twilight. With magic like honey, they mend the souls, in their tender arms, the broken feel whole. They carry the weight of unspoken sins, yet in their laughter a new life begins. For love is a currency, openly spent in each fleeting moment. Your heart's are lent. So case in the ones who love with no shame, in a world that tries to strip them of names. May the spirits soar, may the stories be free, for the sweet horrors are part of the tapestry. Oh, sweet horrors of the moonlit night, carrying dreams in the soft twilight. Laughter like honey. Raise up your glass to the ones who care, and their warmth and kindness we all can share. For in the heart's chamber we're all intertwined. To the sweethearts of the night, your love always mine.
Yeah, it's a funeral service, man. You know what, man? Listen, I thought that was a good segue from that thing when my man JT said, "Hey, there's a lot of sweet hoes out there." So I made a song about it. So there you go. Now, getting back to the reason why we're here, uh, and you know, I'm glad you at least you're around, Black Man Unfiltered. You know what I'm saying? But anyhow, let's get back to the situation at hand. Okay. One of the things that we got to talk about is the you know, how Doge impacts our lives going forward. Right? The first thing is as they resize government, the easy low hanging fruit. The easy look, look, go Trey Taylor. There you go. The easy low hanging fruit, I believe, is looking for all of DEI departments and all of these across the government. And you can save money by getting rid of those, right? And so there's a conversation we could have about that. And there's so much other waste and fraud and all that kind of stuff going on. And some things need to be proved, and some things are already proved. They say they're already up to like 50, maybe almost $100 billion already. If we stop this damn war, that's going to be a lot of money coming back too. But let's just face this thing. Now, I want to address this. Anissa put up about the 4-star general who got replaced, as if this is unique to Trump or anything else. Now, from all accounts, this general was, he was a good general, just like anybody else. However, his ideology goes against what Trump is looking for. And just like any general manager, if we want to put it in football terms, if he takes a job, he wants to hire his own coach. He wants to hire people who have the ideology that he has. And one of the biggest planks of this general, again, was DEI and identity politics. You know, how many gays we have here, how many this we have there. So I just think that, of course, you know, it's not unique to replace a 4-star general with another one. The fact that he's black, and this is the one of the problems that we have, and that's the plantation thought. Unless we see a black face, that means we're not included. It's just bullshit. We gotta elevate out of that thinking. Along with the few blacks that Trump has fired or replaced, he's replacing hundreds, I mean hundreds of white people, thousands. You know, so it's not like he's just cherry picking blacks out of the audience and saying, you get out of here. All those IGs, guarantee you 90% of them are white. So, I mean, we got to get past somehow and before it's all over, right? We got to get past that. If it's not legitimate, if we don't see a black face, we almost try to put a black face in the White House. That would have been an abject disaster if she would have won. So, you know, how many iterations of black faces in high places do we need to show you that the Tiffany Henyard effect is something that we should want to avoid like the plague? So it's just something to think about. No, I'm not trying to change your mind. You can feel the way you want to feel, that, you know, if you're black, you can't get fired unless it's racism. Yeah, well, you know, if you're going to feel that way, then we could just leave it like that. I mean, there's nothing else to say. Hey, KP, how you doing? Trey Taylor, how you doing? Up here as well. At some point, I'll just drop the link. I was just going through a couple of things, right? One of the things I found as we go through this transition and all the opposition that Trump is getting is fine, because you're supposed to get some kind of pushback when you're trying to change the way we've been doing business. It just happens that way, you know. So I don't think it's such a big deal that we have. It's one of the flaws in the two-party system that we have, right? If I look good as one party, you feel like you automatically look bad in the other, right? If I do good, you know, you can't do good because I'm doing good, you know. So that two-party system makes it a tit for tat, right? It's, you know, if I'm winning, you're losing, and it really shouldn't be that way. In the past, you know, I think people shared responsibility. It was a lot more bipartisanism, you know, and you know, so that was how that was. And one of the things that I really see is I got another theory. You know why so many women hate Trump, and so many, especially Black feminists, plantation women hate Trump? Because he's an unapologetic man. He's not like these pansy ass dudes or men who just acquiesce to all of their bullshit. You know, usually once a woman starts screaming, crying, and saying all their horse shit, you know, men back down. That's why we've lost so much ground, because men haven't stood on 10 toes down. And we allowed, and I say we, not me, but men in general, mostly white men, allow women and feminism and all their belly aching to try to redefine what a man is. And so when they're faced with a guy who says, you know what, I don't care if you're a woman, you say some stupid shit to me, I'm going to let you have it. And women can't stand that, especially, I'm going to say it, especially Black women, because they're used to men just kowtowing and pussyfooting and bending the goddamn knee to them, that seeing a guy say, you know what, I don't care about what you say. You say something crooked to me, I'm going to say that shit right back to you, and you're going to eat all of this shit. And so that's why a lot of these women hate Trump, because you can't be because he's a criminal. Half of the babies you guys have is by criminals. So it can't be that. You know, so I mean, the criminality shit is crazy, because it ain't like a good deal of sisters are scared of criminals. So let's stop that piece of shit too. You know, so anyway, so I'm just saying, I think that the 1.7 million Black men who decided to get off the plantation, and even some who stayed, you know, because this is my terminology, you know, people might not like the terminology plantation. I'm thinking it's a watershed moment for men starting to say, you know what, this far and no further with this fucking female bullshit. You're not supposed to be the leaders. We've given you your chance and the world almost fell apart. You know, we got chicks with dicks. We got transgenderism. We got kids going through all kinds of horrendous surgeries. We got all kinds of dumb shit going on because we put women in charge. You know, so so it's a good time. This was a good thing. So that's why a lot of men left. They couldn't see anything in the party for men. And so, and the other thing, that everything that's going on now, Trump said on a campaign trail, and he won the House, he won the Senate, he won the popular vote, he's got the judges, and he's got 2 years to show and prove, and he don't have no time to waste. That's why they're moving so fast. You know? You know, so there you have it. So I have a couple of clips about what. So let's talk about Doge. Let's get in, because I think a lot of people, just because they have Trump derangement syndrome. Even before I say that, one of the things I think we got to get over as Black people, we gotta stop internalizing every goddamn thing that we hear and see, and make it because we're Black. We internalize good shit. We're Black. We internalize every goddamn thing because I'm Black. Because I'm Black. You know, Trump says, I want to get rid of Black History Month, but you know what? Oh, what the hell? I'll have a celebration in the White House, and all of a sudden we got Black women saying that he's slapping us in the face with the celebration. It's just all kinds of derangement bullshit. And then you want to tell men that we should follow you into the future with you guys leading. Man, you know how stupid how crazy that shit sounds. have all these irrational Jasmine Crockett type women yelling and screaming shit into the ether, and we're supposed to follow that as men. It's just crazy shit. And so it's so refreshing to see a guy stand up, and he's got women with him, stand up and say, you know what, man, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. And the country is also saying, we're not doing that. Okay. And the only bad part is he's got to make sure he wins the midterms. And I think J.D. Vance will be a formidable foe for 2028. Anyway, so here's Doge. I want to show you guys, there's a whole Twitter account for Doge. And I just think that people talking about what's really going on, but how many people hate Trump or hate what they're doing ever even looked at what's going on Doge? Let me throw this up here just for the hell of it so you can see it. All right. So listen, here's, if you go on Twitter, this Department of Government Efficiency, and it has the $ there, an American flag, American flag, not a black American flag, which stands for us all, right? And then this D.O.G.E is the website. And I would just say, go to the website, see what's on there, read it, see what Doge is all about. You don't have to agree, but when you want to argue against something, at least be educated enough to say, I saw it, I don't like it, and this is why I don't like what's going on. That means the argument is elevated from, I just hate Trump. So anything he does is no good. So we got to elevate from that, especially as Black people. We can't afford to be on the wrong side of future for this one. I think we're at a watershed moment. If he stops the war in Ukraine, I think that's going to be a big win. We're going to get, we can't have politicians when he gets the efficiency out of the government saying none of us could use a $5,000 check. I don't care. I don't know anybody who said that they could. I believe the money. I believe that $5,000 is a bit much. But let's just say they said it. So let's go with the $5,000. If we got $5,000 back from the government, that subsidizes everything you needed to do that year. Everything else, the eggs. You got your kids that need money for a certain program. You could pay for that. The increased heating bill, the increased gasoline, everything. So, oh no, man. What are you saying, Anissa? Oh, you're talking to somebody else. You just going on. Anyway, so listen. So this is Doge. If you haven't been there, check it out on Twitter or X, and then go to the website, and they'll go through what's it about. But I got this brother who can eloquently talk about what Doge is, and it's a short little thing, but it's cool. I like what he's going to say, because I'm going to play that next, and we can, if you have some questions, let me just drop the link too. If anybody wants to see it, anybody wants to come up. Just so it's in the chat. All right. What are you saying? All right, so let me get rid of this. And we'll go to this gentleman who wants to talk a little bit about Doge. Because, like I said, I think the good about what they're doing outweighs the bad. It outweighs the ugly. And some of the good things we're going to talk about right now. And then, again, everybody in the chat can weigh whether they think this is good for them or not. Let me do this first. There you go.
Okay, so Democrats have been protesting Elon Musk's involvement in our government for the past few weeks, and most people are confused as to what exactly he's doing. So let's talk about it. The Department of Government Efficiency, or DOGE for short, is a new government agency that's essentially a cleanup crew of highly efficient tech bros that's led by Elon Musk and aims to achieve 4 very straightforward goals by mid-2026. First is to eliminate redundant programs. Second is to modernize government technology. Third is to restructure the federal workforce. And last and most importantly is to reduce the federal deficit by at least $1 trillion. Despite what the media may say, none of what DOGE has set out to do is necessarily new. In fact, we have multiple government agencies that have been in place at least since the 1920s that are supposed to do this exact same work and have just failed to do so. There's the Government Accountability Office, the Office of Management and Budget, the Inspector General offices, the list goes on. So the real question is, why haven't they been doing this? In just a few weeks, DOGE has already saved an estimated $50 billion by simply looking at unnecessary contracts and making efforts to reduce the federal workforce. Here's just a few of the things that we found out that our government has been paying for since DOGE has been in place. Large-scale social deception. $20 million went to Iraq so that they can create their own version of Sesame Street. We spent $27 million on gift bags for illegals as they were being deported. We spent $250 million on a road in Afghanistan that was never used. We literally helped them build a road to nowhere. And most surprisingly, we spent over $200 million on transgender animal studies. Outside of the obvious wasteful spending, probably the most important thing that DOGE has exposed is the number of rules and regulations that have been put in place by non-elected officials over the past few years. Last year alone, there were over 3,000 new rules put in place compared to only 176 laws that were passed by Congress, which is duly elected by the people. So when you see your favorite Democrat politician protesting about non-elected officials controlling our government now that Elon is exposing all of this, ask them why they were so quiet before. And for the people who are saying that nobody voted for Elon to do this, yes, we did. We actually did. In fact, we voted for Elon and Vivek to do exactly what the DOGE team is doing right now. And they told us exactly what they would do as they were campaigning across the country over the course of months in front of millions and millions of people. Okay,
So, and this is very true, right? That's exactly what went on. That's exactly what happened. We know that everything that's going on now is something that was projected during the campaign, on a campaign trail. And that's the thing that makes this so sweet, is that, I don't remember the last time a politician said they were, and actually did what they said they were going to do on a campaign trail. I mean, everything he said he was going to do, he's doing. So it's not like it's a surprise to anybody. I guess when you see reality start slapping you in the face, and you weren't prepared for it because you thought it was just business as usual, that this is what happens. I think that the thing for Trump that helped him out was that he didn't win the 2020 election. He would have been the same. He would have been the same guy from 2016. And by the way, I'll let everybody know, I voted for Hillary Clinton. I believe she ran against Trump then. Yeah, I voted for her. I didn't vote for Trump in 2016. That's how stupid, how long I've been stupid, So every man has to go through a stupid time. I'm glad I kind of wised up, because I can't imagine the candidate that if she would have been president, it would have been just, I don't know if the states would have held up. Okay, so what else do I have for you guys? Listen, I think that, can anybody tell me why they don't think identifying and removing all of this financial waste from the government is a bad thing? I mean, if you look at the regular TV news, we have a whole bunch of people who are on the wrong side of history. How could you really argue against, waste and fraud, and just abuse of our funds? How could you really argue about that? But if you turn on CNN, you turn on MSNBC, you turn on ABC, NBC, you turn on all of the PBS, you turn on all of these stations, you listen to the news and you say, well, why are you against that? Why are you against getting rid of, killers and, rapists and all kinds of foul people out of the country who are here illegally, and you're trying to protect people, if that protection means that you could save some of the worst and most vile killers, it's okay. I mean, how could that be? I mean, so how is that going to be on the right side of history, where those people are plaguing the people who look like you? Some people worry about a 5-star general, 4-star general getting replaced. And by the way, he's going to be okay. He's probably walking into a $500,000 a year job as a free man. But you want killers and rapists in the neighborhood with your black brothers and sisters because you hate Trump. It doesn't make any sense to me. It really doesn't. You want big killer clowns to go into classrooms and dance naked in front of your kids, pretty almost butt naked in front of 3rd and 4th graders, singing, devil worship songs. Like I said, it just doesn't make sense. The opposition is really idiotic. And you see a person screaming in the mic like Crockett, talking about how $5,000 wouldn't help the average American who only makes as a family average of $80,000 a year. It's just idiotic on the surface of it. But anyway, so there's a couple other things. Now, I'm not sure about the Department of Education, but I wanted to play a clip from that same brother talking about the Department of Education, because I thought it was beneficial for us to hear, because how could, with the Department of Education was started, I believe, by Carter. And ever since then, our reading scores, math scores, whether kids learn cursive, kids lost gym class, kids lost everything. I mean, what are they doing if they're not adding value to the students across the states? And maybe the state should take on more of educating the kids on a local level and give parents some more say as to what the kids learn and where they learn. Okay, so I'm gonna play that clip, and so just give us all a little bit more information about how one of the things that they want to get rid of is the Department of Education. I don't believe they'll get rid of it, but I think they'll trim it, and I think they'll redirect it so it's more efficient and it serves the states better than it does right now. Right? So they come out saying, I'm gonna get rid of it, but I don't think they will. I think they'll reduce it. I think they'll take the bureaucracy out of it. And I think they'll say, okay, this is how we want you to operate. And then they need to go to the Senate and to the House. And some of these things need to be codified in law, or else the next president, if it's a Democrat, he's going to switch it, or she's, well, I hope not she, he's going to switch it right back to the shit that it is right now. So let's look at that. Let's look at how that might play out.
Okay, so it was announced that the Department of Education is on the chopping block to be shut down by the Trump administration. And some people are confused and upset as to what that means. So let's talk about it. When the Department of Education first started in 1979, it had 3 main goals: administer federal funding for education, collect and analyze data on schools and students, and enforce federal education laws that relate to civil rights and equal access. Notice that nothing I listed mentioned giving them power to set educational standards. That's something that's left up to the states, right? Not quite. The Department of Education requires that all schools and states that accept federal funding have to follow certain guidelines and standards, which essentially gives them control over what's being taught in schools and basically puts all states and schools on a one-size-fits-all education model. This means that students in places like Malibu, California, and rural Alabama are forced to follow the same curriculum and teaching methods, despite obvious economic and cultural differences that impact how students learn. Now, this wouldn't be so bad if the reading and math scores in the US were on the rise, but it's the complete opposite. According to the National Assessment of Educational Progress, US reading and math scores have dropped to the lowest level in decades. And the sad part, this isn't even a new trend. Based on the most recent assessment, reading scores have reached a historic low, with 33% of 8th graders reading below the lowest level. For 4th graders, the number is even higher, with 40% of fourth graders reading below the lowest level. That's the highest percentage in roughly 20 years. And what makes this worse is that the US spends more money on education than almost every other country in the world by far. So this model clearly does not work, and it's not something that you can just throw money at to fix. The other big issue is college loan and grant funding. College has become completely unaffordable, and the current student loan debt in America is about 1.7 trillion. What most people fail to mention is that the reason that college is so expensive is because of the Department of Education. Why wouldn't a school continue to raise its prices if they know that the Department of Education is going to give students loans for any amount of money, and they're not tied to the performance of the student nor the performance of the school? It's free money. Removing the Department of Education will force colleges to lower tuition overnight because no students will be able to afford it otherwise, and those schools will go out of business. There are several colleges right now that don't accept federal funding, and their tuitions are way lower. Plus, their students experience way fewer issues when it comes to student debt when they graduate. There are also already states that have stepped up and started to offer student loans that are more affordable than what the federal government offers. So yes, we have real world examples of what this could look like without the Department of Education, and they seem to be effective. Okay.
All right. So again, one of the things that I did a stream back here, I don't know, 3, 4, 5, 6 months ago, that if I were king, what would I change? And one of those things was how we doled out loans to students. And one of the things that I think that is an easy fix is the government could set a limit on how much interest you charge, student loans for the student loan program. That's one thing they could do. The second thing, and more important, is the loan that you get should be tied to the curriculum that you're going to follow. If you want to go to college and you want to take, snail hunting on a Serengeti, right? You shouldn't be able to borrow $100,000 to do that shit, right? You're never going to catch enough snails to get your money back. There's no return on investment with that. So I might get you $5,000 to get, or $10,000 a year for you to just get out of your neighborhood and maybe learn something and pay us back $40,000, which is something you might do. If you want to be an engineer, that's another level. If you want to be a doctor, that's another level. Where you get into a profession, we have some way of paying back a loan. But, so I think it should be tied to what you're going to do. And that's it. And I think that would work out a whole lot better. And, I think that's an easy fix because all loans have some kind of criteria for you to get a loan. And so there should be that kind of criteria on a student loan. We shouldn't just be giving it out willy-nilly at all. And I wasn't necessarily for the forgiveness program, but if we could forgive corporations every so often, maybe we should give some citizens a break once in a while. But hopefully that's a one-time thing. I definitely don't think we're going to see that out of the Trump administration. So that's the good, right? We look at the Department of Education, implement DOGE, get rid of waste and abuse and all that kind of stuff. The potential for a dividend is a great idea. Whatever that dividend comes in 2026 or whatever, 2027, whenever they count up the money that we save from just waste, fraud, and abuse, some of the bad things I just think that we're going to face is that over the next 4 years that we're going to have to keep listening to all this Trump derangement syndrome bullshit. And that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but it's going to have to do. All right, we're going to have people just spewing lies and misinformation just because they hate Trump. And, it's going to just make for, I don't watch the news that much anymore. But it'll make for great content. That's one thing. It'll make for great YouTube content, just picking apart people who have, and it's already making for great content for some people on this YouTube streets and everywhere else because of the lies that are being told. And just the derangement syndrome is a real syndrome. I would imagine that it's going to be in the medical books sooner or later because it's just irrational. So, and then there's some ugly parts to this, some nonsense that are coming out uh, that are going to try to pull us back into why we voted against Trump in the first place. I happen to see you know what, I don't really want to admit this. I really don't. But I happen to tune into the panel discussion they had to pick the new DNC chairman. And oh, what a shit show that was. I'm serious. If the people that they had as candidates for the DNC chair is their leaders of the future, I don't think Republicans have anything to worry about for the foreseeable future. I mean, it was just a complete shit show. And one of the things that I think the DNC chairman is a black guy, you know, kind of chubby, round-headed dude, I believe. So I want to show you that in order for them to pick, you know, a vice president and other delegates, the kind of identity politic bullshit that they have to go through is incredible. So I'm gonna show that to you. And I don't see how anybody ever wants to go back to this shit. Okay, I mean, it's incredible. All right, so this oh God damn it. Okay, here goes.
Weekend, where a DNC official demanded that a non-binary person be voted into the vice president position of the organization.
Rules specify that when we have a gender non-binary candidate or officer, the non-binary individual is counted as neither male nor female, and the remaining 6 offices must be gender balanced. With the results of the previous 4 elections, our elected officers are currently 2 male and 2 female. In order to be gender balanced, we must elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender. So again, this is what we have to do for this vice chair race. We have to elect 1 male, 1 female, and 1 person of any gender.
All right, come on, man. So, okay. Come on, man. You know, there's a whole thing about the effemination of men on the Democratic side, you know, that there's no men. I mean, guys are coming straight out saying, you know, of course they got some tough guys over there, but we're talking about these guys like.
To ensure our process accounts for male, female, and non-binary candidates, we conferred with our RBC co-chair, our LGBT caucus co-chair, and others to ensure that the process is inclusive and meets the gender balance requirements in our rules. To do this, our process will be slightly different than the one outlined to you earlier this week, but I hope you will see that in practice it is simple and transparent.
All right, man. Listen. Okay. You talk to these people, right? And they say, what is the hoopla about? You know, there's only 1% of people are chick with dicks and all this kind of stuff. So if it's only 1% of people, why are you trying to change the vernacular of 99% of the people out there to satisfy 1% of the people who ain't nowhere around? You know, I mean, what are you going to do if you just only have female candidates? You can't do your job. You're going to go. This is the problem with the so-called identity politics and DEI. You're going to go pick a transgender off the street just so you can finish your vote? I mean, this is the most ridiculous shit in the world. How can we actually ever vote this kind of bullshit back in to lead the United States of America? You know what I'm saying? I mean, and the fact that he can say and even try to fumble through this shit with a straight face, it's incredible. It's incredible, man. He's the kind of guy who'll tell you that he thinks men could get pregnant. And he's going to be the leader of the free world? I mean, not him, but, you know, get the new president in by leading the Democratic Party in the conventions and the PACs and all that. He's a clown. You know, and what they're talking about is clown rules. I mean, it's just, It's just, you know, I mean, this wasn't meant to be as long, a long live today. It's just that the things that were going on that almost got voted back in to office is incredible. You know, so I mean, I just go on some of these, just a thought about why we can't go back. You know, we just can't go back. You know, and that's what this is the one thing that I'm thinking that there's some other ugliness, right? There's censorship ugliness that's going on. And I just want to listen to, I guess, Ayala Presley. You know, she has some dumb shit that she's saying. And I think she doesn't even realize, and she realized what she's saying, but it's incredible that she's saying it, you know?
Let me tell you something. I'll take a bit of umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say we are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress. But they are not serious. Look, let me tell you something. I'll take a bit of umbrage here. I'll speak on behalf of my colleagues. I think I can say we are all willing to work with anyone who's serious about doing the work of censoring the American people and advancing progress.
All right. So she wants to advance progress by censoring the American people. It's incredible. You know, where are we getting these people from? And you know what? And I hate to say it, but the face of the most debaucherous, backward, leftist, idiotic shit is coming out of the mouths of Black women. They're being a front to what's going on. It's crazy. I mean, you know, it's absolutely crazy. I said this in a live before that, you know, it's a daisy chain of events. Back in slavery, you know, I looked it up. 89% of Blacks in America were slaves. 89% were on the plantation, chattel slaves. That means 11% were free men. They were living like hell probably, but they were free up in the north and west and places like that. And so we had white Republicans come down and kill their brothers and cousins and family members to keep the Union together. And as a result, slaves were freed. They didn't do it for us, but it did it because slavery was going to destroy the Union. Okay, so and then the Democrats created the Ku Klux Klan, right? And they were lynching, they were stringing them up big time. Now, maybe Republicans were a part of that somewhere, but the Democrats started the Ku Klux Klan. The Democrats, you know, passed into the Jim Crow era. The Democrats were filibustering the Senate to stop the Civil Rights Act. And it was a Republican who had to break the filibuster in order for the 1964 Civil Rights Act to pass. And then Lyndon Baines Johnson said, well, we got to help these people out because they automatically got all this so-called freedom and civil rights, but they're so far behind, we got to subsidize the way they live. But there's one proviso, that we'll give you this money, but you can't have men in the household with their wives. If he has a job, a bad job, even a bad job, you get no benefits. We see what happened there. And so now, fast forward to 2025, we're still 90-something% on a Democrat plantation, but we're in mental bondage, mental slavery, and monolithically voting for people who want to constantly keep us in the slavery of victimization. Everything that happens to us is because we're Black. We don't have any autonomy as thinking, merit-based people because we have to have the coddleization of Zaddy and Master, or else the bad white people of the right will get you. It's time for that shit to end. It's time, way past time for that shit to end. And I'm old. Our young people can't be thinking like that no more. And I think they're starting to see that that's bullshit. You know, it's just real bullshit. And everybody clinging on that, especially the Black woman, because they're coddled and they're affirmed and they get all the shit that they need, the warmth they need from the Democrats. No husbands, by the way, but no man in the house, just the man's seed and his wallet if he has one. It's incredible. So the Democrats have been a bane on the black folks since slavery, and they're still a bane today. And if you look at this black dude with the round head up there, like mine, he's a round head, talking about Zim, Zay, and Zoe and Zaja. I mean, you want him mentoring your sons? What the fuck, man? You know, so we can't go back. Yeah, you know, unfortunately, it gave rise to a guy like Trump, if you don't like him, but we can't go back to that. We cannot go backwards. I'm just thinking about all the things that they stand for, and we just can't go back. We can't let 1% of the population. Let me read this. Hey, man, thanks, Curtis. $4 to the show, super chat. What's up, Boomer? Hey, I'm doing okay, man. I'm just over here just thinking about things out loud about why we need to think past DEI. We got to think positively about D.O.G.E and what's going to be the benefits of getting out of mental slavery to the Democrats. And anyway, so we can't go back to the 1% of the population, you know, chicks with dicks who want to tell us how to live, how to say, how to use pronouns to shape the society so they could be comfortable, right? They want to reshape society, and they also want to tell God that he made a mistake in the Garden of Eden. He should have had a third person in there who was a transgender so they could have fought over the apple. There was a man and there was a woman, and that was it. And if you don't believe that, then you don't believe it. And it's as simple as that, right? We don't want to go back to the FBI, you know, coming after parents because the parents didn't like what the school boards in California was doing, having drag shows in front of their children. And forbidding the children, forbidding the teachers, the parents from finding out what they were teaching their kids in school. The kid goes to a guidance counselor and wants to wear dresses. They won't inform the parents about that. We can't go back to the DNC having baby sacrifices outside of the convention to whoever God they pray to. While inside the convention, they're talking about rah-rah, shish-boom, bar. We got the new kind of male trying to run the country, right? So we can't go back to open borders where all kinds of killers and riffraff come into the country unabashed and use taxpayers' money for luxury hotels, driver's licenses, you know, and all kinds of luxuries that the average everyday American can never get from the country. We can't go back to censorship. We can't go back to the censorship that was so hard, so frightening, that billionaires were on their knees to the federal government and withholding information that might have moved the election one way or the other, because they told them, if you don't do this, we're going to find every little creek under your tax rock, and you won't be able to do business here. That shit's gone, right? We can't go back to America where the children are undergoing puberty blocking and irreversible gender transition before the age of consent. This is all the stuff that Kamala Harris goes for. And the people like her, the far left freaks out there. We can't go back to that. We just can't. You know, I mean, I'm not just big religious guy, but I don't think whatever future is left behind, dude, I want our country to actually look like this shit. You know, I mean, it's crazy. It's just absolutely insane. And the fact that we have fully grown black people just who hate Trump would have the country burned to hell because Trump was in it. It doesn't make any sense to me. It just, you know, and this whole thing about him being a criminal, I can't stand when I see black people talking about it, because y'all embrace the worst fucking criminals in the whole world. Like I said before, half of y'all have babies by these dudes. So this to stop the bullshit. Anyway, so I didn't even meant to be as a ranting session, but I'm looking at all this first 30 days. I've never seen a president or an administrative move so fast. Forget about Trump. Forget about D.O.G.E. This has nothing to do with just the men. It's that there's a focus. There's a focus on the future I have never seen before. And it feels good. And if you could actually stop the war, tell Zelensky, shut the fuck up, man. You lost. We're not putting no more money into your stupid war. So you could have all your men killed at the feet of your ideology. You probably took half of our money anyway into some bank, and just go out into the sunset and shut the fuck up and move, right? And stop asking to be on to join NATO. That's the reason why you're at war, because Biden set you up, right? And by offering NATO to you, he spooked Putin into doing something stupid like coming over and have a war. So anyway, so this guy who goes on a rant, and I just wanted to have my little rant so he could have his about why, as a black man, he'll never vote for a Democrat again. Now I'm saying I haven't even gone that far. All I know is that if they don't change their policy and get rid of their far left idiots, kind of like the Republicans did with the Tea Partiers. Remember the Tea Party? It was a whole bunch of far-right lunatics, the Liz Cheney lunatics, that the Republicans actually kind of kicked them out of the party. But the so-called better-thinking Democrats, the party is being run by socialist idiots. So anyway, let's go ahead and see what this one brother says about how he feels about the Democrats.
This black man renounces the Democratic Party.
Democratic Party have lied to us about everything. They've lied about being the party of the middle class. They've lied about being the party of peace. They've lied about being the party that wants to help poor people. Okay? What the last several weeks have proven to us all is that this is a cadre of criminals and losers and spoiled children of affluent parents who were more concerned about looking good than actually doing good. These are people who were more concerned about looking like they were doing something for the American people than actually doing things for the American people. And that's why I'm so angry. Because this party lied to me while stealing my tax dollars. The Democratic Party lied to us all while they brought in millions of illegal immigrants for their own political purposes for the last 4 years. 20 to 30 million illegal aliens brought in, and now we come to USAID being probably the largest money laundering operation in American history. Congratulations, Dems. You've outdone even Bernie Madoff. I'm disgusted beyond words. Disgusted with the waste of money. Disgusted with the waste, with the fraud, with the way that you people use color legitimacy, and the way you use black people as mules get us to push whatever agenda you wanted to. The amount of division you used black people to sow upon the American people, you used us for that. And I will never, ever forgive this political party. The shit that I've gone through personally. Y'all were supposed to be the party of free speech, the party of women's rights. You have immolated all of those things. And then, as if enough weren't enough, You then decide that you're going to die on the hill of USAID, a government audit. You're trying to prevent a government audit because some of you really are trying to stay out of prison. We see the game now. Y'all been out here telling us that the game was rigged against certain people. Well, now we found out who the people that were rigging the game were. Congratulations. Y'all are never going to win another political race ever again. Not if I can help it.
My name is John K. Amanchukwu Sr., and I approve this message.
Listen, man, I applaud the guy for getting through all of that without cursing. You know, he did a good job. He did a great job of getting through all of that without cursing. Anyway, so like I said, I just think that we need to kind of sit back and see how things are going to play out. Because if we actually save $1 trillion in the 2 years that DOGE is going to be in existence, my prediction is that the Republicans will keep their seats and their majority in the House and the Senate in the midterms. And we're going to have 4 years of redirecting how the government operates, right? Hopefully, we'll see an end to this war in Ukraine, and we'll see that mineral deal that will bring dollars back into the United States, right? For us to get a fair share. I mean, this is what, if you listen to Trump, he's talking like, hey, we're throwing a lot of money out there, but we're not getting anything back. Whereas Europe loaned money to Ukraine, and they're going to get paid back. So he's looking for deals. Okay, if we stop this war, we want dibs on your mining, on your minerals and things like this, and we'll split it. We'll be in business, but we want some of our coin back so we could put back into our coffers. This sounds like a great deal to me. He's making deals around the world. Now, like I said, whatever you think about Trump, that's fine. But the truth of the matter is, he's not just letting people just say shit and going to bed and I think he's on PEDs, by the way. I'm just saying it's allegedly. The guy has more energy than all the people he's working with. He's everywhere, and there was no corner of the electorate he wasn't willing to go in to speak to. He went into the lion's den, the hyena's den, and he turned him out. He had no problem going into a den of angry hyenas, and he still held his own. So I just say, listen, we got to be on the right side of history on this one. And like I said, I don't know any thoughts anybody have. I know in this Trey. Go and do it. Here's a couple of announcements. One, provide a super chat. Hit the like button. Make sure you hit the like button for the algorithm for the Black Man on Filter Network. And like I said, Trey, myself, and Harmonize did a collab pretty much last week. I think guys go back and relook at that one, because I think the way we chopped up that reaction video was pretty good. And then, so probably it's worth looking at again. So this was I plan on this one being kind of a short one, unless anybody wants to come up and say their little piece about DOGE, about how the first 30 days went. Feel free, I can wait around for that. But if not, I'll give it a couple of minutes. If not, I'm just going to call it a quick night. Go down and kiss the wife and tell her what's happening and see what's going on with her and all that kind of stuff. These guys, you know what, man? The side chat is more is more entertaining than what I'm saying right now. But anyway, everybody, listen, thanks for stopping by, man, keeping the chat going. So next week, I'll probably have some other stuff, maybe a reaction video again, maybe another collaboration. I probably won't be doing another part 5 to this, but like I said, there's always some more content based on the changes that's going on that Trump is spearheading, and Elon Musk and his cabinet. I think they're doing a great job at the border. There's some declaring the cartels terrorist groups gives them a whole lot more leeway to do the kind of things they have to stop these guys. A lot of people don't understand the connotations of that, because now they could treat those guys like they treated ISIS and things of that nature. And so there's a lot of different things going on that are good for our country. And if we get that money together, just like, what was this? What do you say? Why are you so against how slavery was? I don't know what that means. I'm not against how slavery was. I don't know what you really mean there. Anyway, unless there's something else, I'm going to clock out. And I want to leave you with some, I know, listen, these guys are going at it. But I have one more thing I want to leave you guys, because I think that America is on the right path to something great again. And even if it wasn't great, like people say, well, it was never great for Black people, blah, blah, blah. Well, we had better marriages at one point. We had longer ones. We had intact families. But even if you said that the past, that we didn't have no great periods for Blacks in the past, that certainly doesn't mean we can't have great periods for Black people in the future, right? That's what that means, right? So as long as we're still here, and if our time hasn't come in the past, it definitely could come in the future, but we got to think a little differently than we are right now. We can't keep going back to the victimization well. I think all of those dollars are drying up. Section 8 is going to go. I think there's going to be, I saw a podcast where guys say women are going to start falling into hard times, and all of a sudden they're going to start falling in love with men again, so they could be put under men's, and that's a damn shame that the women only want men for what we provide in terms of finances and everything else is they don't give a shit about. You know what I'm saying? So I'm going to go, and it's just nobody's coming up. But, I'm kind of hesitant because I like what's going on in the chat, but they got this big full-fledged argument going on. Yo, listen, no threats, come on. They're looking for the guys at Home Depot already. You know what I'm saying? And they probably are. They probably are. It's a damn shame that the honeys are say, I gotta be destitute in order to have a man, as opposed to getting back in the order of things and being just good wives. Nobody say you can't make money. That shouldn't be the center of your lives. And stop trying to be men. You're not men. You're women. So we need to have women. We need to have women to come back as women. Hey, listen, what's that, Trey? Checkmate? Oh, yeah, you guys are going back and forth. Well, you know what? I appreciate the love. I do. Anyway, so listen, I'm going to leave you guys with, like I said, I think it's a good time to be an American. That's what I really believe. And I think we should take advantage of that. And of course, somebody's going to have to go ahead and take this AI generator away from me, because I have all kinds of songs that I came up with. This one doesn't sound like a funeral, even though I pretty much liked the other song, and I thought it was good for something I just put into the generator. And so here you go. I'm going to say goodnight to you guys after this one. So listen up. I might have played it on this channel once before, so I'm going to play it for you again.
Woke up to the sunlight shining bright and clear. Hope is in the air now, spreading far and near. From the mountains to the valleys, every heartbeat here. A brand new celebration. Let's embrace the cheer. It's a new day for America. Let the banners fly. With unity as our anthem, our dreams will never die. Together we'll rise, holding God's hand. A new dawn is breaking in across this land. Voices from the city, echoes from the plains. Stories of tomorrow flowing through our veins. Dreamers and believers will forge a way ahead in the tapestry of freedom. Every thread is fed. It's a new day for America. Let the banners fly. With unity as our anthem, our dreams will never die. Together we'll rise, holding God's hand. A new dawn is breaking in across this land. No more looking backward, the past is just a guide. With courage in our heart and hope as our pride. We build a brighter future where every voice can sing. In this land in many colors, let freedom ring. It's a new day for America. Let the banners fly. With unity as our anthem, our dreams will never die. Together we'll rise, hold God's hand. A new dawn is breaking in across this land. Here's to tomorrow with dreams take flight. One tapestry of culture, one bandit family Friday. It's a new day for America. Come thunder and rain. It's land of possibilities and love will always reign. Oh, 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 oh.
I was gonna go, but Terry said this to me. I have to address it. This has nothing to do with MAGA. You know, it has to do with America, right? I mean, that's where I think a lot of people fall short. You know, MAGA, whatever, let's just say MAGA is a subgroup of people who support Trump. I can support what's going on without being, I don't have like a MAGA hat. But, you know, I could wear one, but it wouldn't be red. It'd be another one a little bit more inconspicuous. But it has nothing to do with MAGA because I don't understand what MAGA, all the tenets of MAGA, if there's anything. But the truth of the matter is this direction that the country is going in that I agree with. You know, so are you telling me that you have a love affair with gender affirming care for children before they reach puberty? You okay with that? You okay with parents losing their rights to choose what happens with their kids? You okay with that? You're okay with open borders? Are you okay with that? You're okay with endless wars? Are you okay with Kamala Harris talking about taxing unrealized gains? I mean, you know, tell me what you're okay with. You know, are you okay with fraud, waste, and abuse in the government? It is too big. It is bloated. So every so often there is a purge on the government. And you know what? Trump didn't make this up. They say Clinton had a reduction of force over his 8 years of 450,000 people out of the federal workforce. You know, so this is not a new thing. The federal workforce get reorganized every so often. This time he's just doing a deeper cut and trying to identify. So I don't see what's not to like, you know. So you don't have to be MAGA, just like you don't have to be Jewish to like rye bread. You don't have to be MAGA to like what's going on now. So that's the best cliche I could say. Anyway, thanks for coming up. Should have came earlier. Maybe we could have had you up here, Andre, so we could have talked some more. Because I mean, everybody can have their opinion. I just know that the far left that runs the Democrat Party is a bane on society, a bane on the United States, and we can't let those people continue to drag our country to hell with some of the things that they're doing and some of the things they stand for, especially the fact that they want to quell the First Amendment and what they want to do to children and all that kind of stuff. And what, you know, so everything goes. Everything, you know, chicks with dicks in the locker room with women and all that kind of stuff. I don't see how anybody could be for that, you know. And so don't let them get me started, because any man who wants to be a woman, he fails at the fact that he can't handle being a man. because if let me assume that you're a man with children and family and all that kind of stuff. You know what it took for you to grow into an adult and do what you had to do. The pressures that you don't share with anybody from day to day because you have to earn your own living. So I think that men, I had a conversation with my daughter about this. I think that men who want to become women because they can't handle being men. Okay, hey man, there you go. All right, how you going, man? What's on? Let me fix this. So I have to keep it like this where I'm big and just small. That's I'm joking.
Just like a MAGA supporter to do that, I'm telling you. Just like your boy Trump. It's everything great. You're small, I'm big.
So listen, man, you hear what I'm saying, right? Listen, I just think that the direction the country's going. But say your piece, man. That's why I brought you up there. Say
you are like a walking, talking billboard for Fox News. You regurgitate all their talking points. You do realize that, right? It's
Look,
not an original thought in any of the things any of the stuff you say.
That's not true at all. But go ahead. Show me what's not original.
The things you harp on. Let's go point by point. The things you harp on. You talk about the chicks with the penises, being in your locker room. First of all, they are a small percentage of our society.
Then
why are you worried about that?
Okay, hold on now. Let's stay with that. Then why do we care about them? Why are they getting this much deference? We're 13% of the population. We don't get that much deference.
Yeah. The hell if we don't? As soon as they start talking about law and order, guess who they put as the billboard for it, or the face for it? It's black folk, right?
No. You're talking about the negative part of it. I'm talking
about when it comes to LGBTQ.
No. Listen to what I'm saying. The transgenders have more juice in getting their way of life passed through legislation and shit like that. Do you know USAID? Their main thing was passing. Well, they were supposed to put Americanism out into the diaspora, into the different countries. What the hell are they professing transgenderism in Uganda and all these other places and putting money behind it? Why are they having experiments on animals for the 1% of the population? Millions of dollars. Tell me why.
You know why? Because it's the easy thing. It's the easy thing to target right now. Everybody's talking about it. Everybody moves on it one way or the other, right? Why would you try to hit the hardest thing? You hit the easiest target.
No, wait a minute now. No, you're still missing the point. I'm saying before we uncovered this shit, the government was a proponent of taking animals and trying to transform them from regular animals into transgenders. They was doing experiments. See, did you?
What proof do you have of this?
Don't
tell me Fox News.
I know.
Fox News ain't a good source. I don't want to hear no Fox News.
First of all, you could go to the D.O.G.E. web. Listen, if you're not going to believe what you hear,
the D.O.G.E. website.
Yeah. Why are they going to lie? They ain't going to lie. Everybody who uses
have you seen the report on how many times Trump has lied?
Now, how many times they got some things wrong? Because I think they're releasing some things before.
So you think Trump doesn't lie?
I didn't say that. I'm saying that you guys call even mistakes lies, right? So if you talk a lot, you're going to say some shit that might be erroneous. For example, I'll give you an example.
But whose fault is it?
Let me finish. Let me give you an example. People said Trump and Elon was lying about the Social Security numbers. There are people like 20 million people who are over 100 years old. Okay, they said it was a programming error because they use an old programming language. I'll give you that, but they still have to do the analysis to see if any checks are actually being written and sent out to persons unknown. They still got to do that check. So people are saying, well, it's just a programming error, but it could be, yes. But maybe there are some people behind some of those checks. We need to find that out. And so they have a whole list of what USAID is doing. If you choose not to believe, it doesn't matter what the source is. if you choose to believe that they're gonna say a lie that's so easily traceable like that, then it doesn't matter what source is. Because if you don't want to believe it, you're not gonna believe it. You know,
No,
so
no,
I
no.
it's
I
like
look at the like you said. I look at the evidence. I look at the facts. Right.
yeah,
I look at the people he
but
appoints.
from MSNBC, from MSNBC, from Joy Reid, you're a Joy Reid disciple. You're a Joy Reid. Did you cry?
You
Did you
sound
cry?
like Fox News.
I'm asking you, did you cry a tear for Joy Reid?
First of all, was I upset that a black woman's show got canceled? Hell yeah. I'm black before I'm anything, right?
Wait a
Are we
minute,
black before we anything?
You're a human
Answer
before
me.
you're
Answer me.
black.
Are
You're a
you black
human
before you
before
anything?
you're a human before you're black.
So
You're a human
do they
before
treat
you're
us like we human?
Huh?
Do people in this country treat us like we human? Do Republicans treat you like
They
us
treat
human?
me like that. They treat me like a human. You don't get treated
You
like
think
a
so?
No. I know so. I'm wait a minute.
I
So
think you're delusional.
no, I think
So
you're
you've never been
delusional
followed
because you're
around the store?
focusing. Listen, I think you're focusing on the wrong thing. You around people who treat you less than human?
Obviously, no. I'm not around people. I've been
Well, how
around
do you
people.
if okay, wait a minute now. Let's stick right there. If you're not around people who treat you, how you know you're being treated less than human? Because somebody said so on MSNBC?
Because of their actions.
Joy Reid told you that?
No.
Because Joy Reid told you
So
ain't.
I take it you happy your show got canceled.
Wait, hold on for a second. I
You
got
don't even
another
watch
guy.
MSNBC. So why do you care that her show got canceled or
Actually,
not?
I watch. I glimpse at all the shows. And you know what? I used to be a Rachel Maddow fan. Dig that. When I was in my idiot phase,
so
I heard. I used to follow Rachel when she was on the free radio station.
So let me ask you: are you woke now, R-Pain?
No, I'm awake. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Hey Trey, what's going on?
God forbid you be woke. Oh, here we go.
What's good? I got a question. I got a question for the pro blacks.
Got the police in the building. The police in the building.
Let me get this down.
What's that supposed to be?
No,
would you rather be policed by white people?
I'd rather be policed by people from my community.
People from my community. Law enforcement, regardless, somebody has to police. So who would you rather have?
Listen, I don't mind black police.
You a pro black. You a pro black. So I want to know: do you? Okay, so you'd rather be policed by white people?
No, I was teasing.
So then why is that a joke? Because I was one of the guys who were trying to help people that look like you. But this is one of the reasons why. This is one of the reasons why I left. Because you motherfuckers don't even know when you got it good.
Oh shit! Now I'm a motherfucker. Ain't that the bitch?
Yeah.
What's the question?
My question is where does he get his information from? Because if Fox News is bad, where do you get yours from?
I check all my sources. I don't go straight to CNN. I don't go straight to MSNBC.
Can you be specific?
No, because it's not one specific place.
Give me 2 or 3.
I cite all my sources.
Give me 2 or 3.
Like any good college student would do, right?
Give me 2 or 3.
You want 2 or 3 sources?
Yeah. Where do you get your news from? Because you said that Fox News is reporting erroneous and bullshit information. Where do you get yours from? That's what I thought. This is exactly why we don't deal with pro-black, because all they can do is they can argue the negative. But when you ask them, well, where do you get your information from? They stutter. They ain't got nothing to say.
You want to know where I get my information from?
I'm black first.
I get it from Roland Martin. I get
it
from Bruce Watkins. See, I knew. That's why I didn't want to say it. Because I knew it was going to start going crazy.
Hey, R-Pain. That's exactly why I came up here to challenge him on that, because I knew he wasn't getting information from a credible source. I knew he wasn't.
So Roland Martin's not a credible source?
How much money was Roland Martin paid by the Democratic National Convention? How much money did they give him?
I know he's paid some money. I don't know how much it was.
Do you think that his message may be tailored, considered that he was paid by them?
No.
Oh,
so you think that his message was fair and balanced?
Yes.
Oh, you stop.
You crazy as hell.
So wait a minute, Trey. You think Fox News message is fair and balanced?
Well, first of all, you know what?
It's not catered to the
sponsors. Why do you keep saying Fox News? You know what? I think I watch.
You cite Fox News all the time.
No. You said Fox. I didn't say my sources.
No. The information you give out it goes right along with Fox News.
I think I watch Scott Jennings on CNN more than I watch Fox News. Every time he's on CNN, he cooks all those damn liberals on there. He just be cooking people on CNN, cooking them like he having them for he has them like
hold on, Arpane. Are you telling me everybody's the Republican is straight and everybody's the Democrat is the devil?
No, I didn't say that.
No.
Okay, but that's the message you project out.
Well, but right
no,
now,
that's how you take it.
Yeah, thank you.
It don't take a rocket science to figure this out. No.
I argue with Arpane about some Republicans, and we're both conservative. We agree on most things, and even I argue with him.
No,
that's
I'm
not the message.
Conservative, but I'm still a Democrat.
That's impossible. That doesn't make sense.
What's conservative?
There's not a possible way that you can be Democrat and be conservative in some of your views.
Yeah, but not if you're following Roland Martin.
Y'all lost your mind. Y'all lost your mind, man.
Okay,
y'all lost your mind.
Can you give me another conservative?
Me, you're not like me.
Can you no, you're right. I'm not like you. You're absolutely right about that. That's a fact. That is an absolute fact.
You think that's an insult to me? You guys
I don't think it's an insult. I'm agreeing with you that we don't think alike. And we never will.
That right.
We never will, because you felt bad for Joy Reid and I damn near did a backflip. So we're not the same at all, because she's trash. She's trash. And the things she's had to say about black men, she's trash. Especially after she found out that this was one of the only times in voting history that a lot more black men were going to vote for Trump. The things that came out of her mouth
was unbelievable.
It was despicable. It was disgusting what she was saying. I don't know how you can be a conservative Democrat. That's crazy to me.
So let me ask you something. The stuff that's come out of Trump's mouth, the actions he's done, have you not heard about all the court cases? That he wouldn't rent to black people. Those black boys that went to jail, that was cool.
I won't rent to black people. What's your point?
You know how many black people have swings?
So does that make it right? Whether you do it or not, does it make it right?
Yes, it makes it right. It's my property.
So it makes it right because you say so.
I get to choose. Yes, you're damn right. I get to choose who lives in there.
That's bullshit.
And you know what the problem? You know the problem with y'all.
Not built off of your criteria.
You know what the problem with y'all? The problem with y'all pro-blacks is that y'all never want to face the facts about what's actually real. The fact of the matter is that any property I've ever had that was destroyed, they were destroyed by black people, not the white people that I've rented to, not the white, even some of it was meth heads, bruh. Some of it was meth heads, and they didn't destroy my property the way black people have. I can completely understand somebody not wanting to put Section 8 black people in their properties. I completely understand it because they have a tendency to ruin it. They have a tendency to bring riffraff. My grandmother's lived in her neighborhood in DC for over 40 years. Nothing has ever happened in her neighborhood. They start letting Section 8 across the street from her. Now we got shootouts. We got shootouts on her block now all of a sudden.
That's because you had a certain class of black people. If you had black people who were families, who cared about where they came from, who had values, who had morals, but if you let anybody in there, you're gonna get any kind of treatment.
No, you know what?
They own homes, Dre.
And
those types of people own homes,
and they tend to be conservative.
They tend to be conservative.
People who have something to lose tend to don't want to just give shit to people because they know what that means.
Dre, the people you talking about, the black folk you talking about, and I agree with you because I'm a classist, so I agree with you. If you go look at the people who I would want to rent from me, they go out and buy homes. They are married, they got kids. They go out and go buy homes. They don't need to rent. I'm getting the people who are getting vouchers. Mm-hmm. I'm getting the ones that's getting capital access cards and all that other shit. That's what I'm getting because that's what's left over. Now, don't get me wrong. Is it all of them? No, it's not all of them. Right? But anytime, but nothing is absolute. Why do I need to say that? Nothing's absolute. That's a typical pro-black argument. It's like, well, it's not all of them. We know it's not all of them.
I don't say not all of them every time, because you should assume that I don't mean everybody. You know, I mean, you got to assume in a conversation.
You have to be more clear in your talking, though.
No, you should be able to.
It's not our job to read between the lines. It's your job as a speaker, as a podcast host, to clear your speech. You have to give a
No,
disclaimer.
hold
Why
on.
do
If
you
you
think
go
all
back,
the national shows they say
if you go
listen,
back, if you
we
go
want to
back
be
through,
specific about this.
well, if you go back through what I said even today, right? I said that I was talking 90% of the black folks. That's not all. Is on the plantation still. 90%. And they were on there when they were slaves, and they're on there now on the Democratic plantation. 90% ain't all. So why do I have to say not all? There's 10% of people who are enlightened. I mean, it goes for everything else. I mean, some things should be assumed in the conversation, right? I didn't say all black women are married to criminals, right? I didn't say that.
Dre,
Right?
let me
So,
tell you this. Dre, let me tell you this. When you own property, bro, trust me on it. I don't know if you do. But if you don't, when you own your property, Dre, trust me. You are going to be very, very specific about who you let in that property. And when you read those applications, when you go through it, bro, you're gonna be like, hell no, this person can't stay here. You're gonna be telling people, nah, you can't live here, bro.
He said, "Do you got a bonnet on?" He said, "Do you got a?" That's funny. I don't know either, man. I don't think he calls it a bonnet.
It's something to cover my head for my dreads. Because when I clean, I do because dreads drop down in the toilet. Is that okay with you, Barpain?
No, I listen. I just reading one of the chats. You know, the chat said he got a bonnet on. So he said no.
Yeah, he can tell you. He can kiss my ass. Whoever wrote that. Okay.
You know, eat a man.
Not to the front, not to the side, right in the middle. You can kiss my ass.
But listen, man. Listen.
That's mighty specific.
Yeah. he get that message, won't he? Yeah.
But all I'm trying to say is, you know, so if you feel comfortable with the list of things I said, from coming from the far left, then I feel sorry for you. I mean, you got younger children?
No, don't feel sorry for me. I'm doing all right, Arpain.
No. Do you have children? You got young children?
I don't have children.
Oh,
Wait
okay.
till I get married, then I have children.
That's cool.
Because I believe in families. I don't believe in baby mamas and baby daddies.
Well, that's good.
Regardless if you get married or not, you're gonna be a baby mama or baby daddy. I love how y'all love to do that.
No. You can think what you want to think. I can think how I want to think. You can't force me to believe what you believe.
Trying to force you to believe
That's the
in
problem
anything.
with the LGBTQIA. They try to force their views on us.
You're going to be a baby daddy whether you like it or not.
That's not true. If I'm married to my wife, I'm a father. I'm a husband. Words matter. You mute.
Okay. You say whatever makes you feel good at night. I know black people love, especially liberals and pro-blacks, love titles. Y'all love these titles. So by all means, go right on ahead. But trust me, if your wife ever decides to change her mind and not want to be married to you anymore, you just became a baby daddy.
No, I became an ex-husband.
Okay, you think so?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, whatever. Call it what you want.
I mean, I won't argue. I know what you're trying to say. I won't argue with you on that one. But let's on if you're still married, yes, they'll put you together.
Why would you get married?
Why would I get married? I believe.
Why would you get married?
I believe in making a commitment to my mate.
You don't need to get married to make a commitment.
Listen, in my faith, you do. In Christianity,
so you get married because God told you to?
Yes, because the word of God says.
So you're a virgin. You're a virgin then.
Oh, here we go.
Oh, okay. I just love to pick out the disparities of when we choose to listen to God.
Listen, no. I didn't say I did everything right.
Okay, I know, but that's how y'all that's the sort of righteousness y'all live on. Like, oh no, I'm gonna get married. I'm gonna have a family, and I'm gonna do it the right way because that's what my faith says. And God told me. And then when you start asking, well, what about all the other God stuff? God tells you not to be gluttonous. Are you in shape?
I didn't say.
God tells you not to be gluttonous. Are you in shape?
Yeah, there's tons of sins. Our thoughts are sins.
So you cherry picking.
I'm not cherry picking. Listen, I answer your question straight up, right?
Oh, let me ask you. Oh, this is a good one for you, my man, Drake. Are you gonna take the $5,000 check?
Hell yeah, he taking them checks.
Are you taking the check?
Stupid.
What are you talking about?
Well, the dividend check, if they come back and the money comes back from Doge, are you going to take the $5,000?
You do realize that Biden gave us checks too, right?
No. Don't move to go. I'm asking you.
I never got a dime from
Biden. You do that all the time. Every time.
Are you going to take them?
You start talking about
the question.
Well, you still talk about Kamala. Kamala not even the president no more.
Brother, you got to answer this question. We'll deal with your question
after. Yes, I will take the check.
Okay, thank you. All right,
What kind
you
of
take
question is
okay.
that?
All right, then, man. You gonna take that shit, man. Simple as that. I spent all the check.
Every far left, every liberal, everybody who claim they hate Trump, they all taking them checks. Not one of them will send that money back.
Are you gonna erase Trump's name off the check before you cash it?
Nope, he gonna cash it just like.
Why would I do that? They will look. Why would I do? First of all, if I try to do that, when I go to the bank, they be like, "What did you do to this check?"
I didn't like the man who signed it, so I would erase his name.
As a black man, why would I cause myself more trauma than I have to go through?
Or do you have to be black for that, or just gotta be a man?
No.
So white people don't have trauma.
Not pretend like race don't matter in this country. Does race matter in this country?
It matters to pro-blacks, yes.
It matters to everybody.
No, it doesn't. Doesn't matter to me.
So you never experienced racism.
I don't focus on it. I was in the military. I'm sure I have. I'm sure I was passed over.
I'm sure
I was passed over for an assignment simply because I was black. I don't know. I don't pay attention to it. I don't let it control me the way y'all let it control y'all. Everything in my life isn't about me being a black man.
Black person. That's the deal, man. You can't live your life defined by the color of your skin, man. That's a trap. It's a goddamn trap. So you're not an American. Are you American?
Yes, I'm American.
Okay, so did you want
That's
to
why
say
he gonna spend that money because he's American.
Yeah, you're American. So that has nothing to do with you being black, right?
Excuse me, say that again?
That you being an American is above and beyond you just being black, right?
No, that's not true. Because they don't
so
treat me just.
you're not American.
Listen. If this country would afford me the same opportunities as a white American, then I would say that. But no.
What opportunity have you not had that a white?
Let me ask you a question.
White American has.
You gotta say
who's the number? Who's locked up more than anybody?
That's because we commit the most crimes.
Thank you.
That's bullshit. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. There's more white Americans in this country than anybody. You mean
that doesn't mean they're committing the most crimes?
Hey, y'all full of shit, man.
Full of shit, man. Okay, so let's go back.
Hold on, Arpain. You got to find this. When you find it, I'm gonna see if I can find it for you, Arpain. There was a study that was done that showed that if you took the homicides out of 5 cities, that America would go from number 1 in homicides to like 180th in the world. If you took, I want to say it was Cleveland, Detroit, and every single city was a majority black populated city. We commit the most crimes, right? You don't believe it? All you gotta do is just look around.
So
I saw somebody stealing today.
So let me ask you. But Trey, let me ask you this: does underreporting, is that a thing?
Of course, it's a thing. Yeah.
Come on now. They're not reporting the same amount of crime that's going on in the white neighborhood as they are in the black neighborhood.
So you have the belief that white people are committing more crimes, but they're not.
Absolutely.
But they're not being caught.
We are 13%
of
the population. What, we 13% of the population?
14, but yeah.
14. You think 14% is creating more crime than what's the percentage of white people?
It's a lot.
Damn, that's in 40s. They in the 40s.
Come on, man. You can't be that delusional.
Hey, we're talking about math, though. We're talking about percentages per capita. That's what it really is. That's how it goes. Yeah, we don't have. They
even think that way. You think that white is greater.
If you gotta listen. Okay, either man's up here now. What you say that? Say that again. Go ahead.
To even think that way, that black people are committing more crimes than white folk. You think white folk are greater than black people?
No, you ain't listening.
No,
you're not listening. Nobody's saying that.
You are saying
no, we're not saying that, right?
I think white people are better at getting away with crime. Sure,
yeah, they get away with crimes more, but
they're better at getting away with it.
You just talk about raw numbers. White people commit more crimes by raw numbers, but not by percentage of their population. Not by percentage of their population. If
stupid,
more black, more black people kill black people than anybody else. Right, the murders of black people. They
are reported to kill.
You think
those are
white
numbers
people,
that we get.
you think white people kill
Reported
more
homicides.
You think white people kill more black
Yeah,
people?
who are the
than-
top serial killers? Are they white or are they black?
No.
Okay, that's still
And those are mass murderers. There's not
okay.
one or two people. They're killing tons of
Answer
people.
this question. You think that white people kill more black people than we kill
Absolutely.
ourselves?
Absolutely.
That's not true.
Why is that not true, Arpain?
From
It's
Philly.
not true.
Dre?
It's not true. People kill
Dre,
most
you
of the
from
people.
Philly, right?
I am from Philly.
Bruh. You
Hey,
from
wait,
Philly,
wait,
bro.
wait,
Come on.
hey, either man, where you going, man? Come back.
How many
What's that say?
homicides Philly? Yeah.
What's that say?
Yeah, where you at,
around
man?
broke white people
Come back,
or
man.
broke black people. I ain't trying to stay around nobody broke. Period.
That's the truth. I agree. I agree
What
with
the
you there.
hell
I
kind
agree
of
with you there,
question
Dre.
is that?
Yeah, Dre. Dre, I mean, Dre, I
Listen,
don't
John
want-
Hope Bryant has a great quote. If you're around non-broke people, you about to be the 10th one. People can pull you down faster than they can pick you up.
All right.
Because here's the thing. Broke white people got their problems too.
Absolutely. This trailer
They got
trash
their issues
everywhere.
too. Yeah. I wouldn't want to be around them either.
Yeah, man. All I
Where
can
did any
say.
man go? He dropped.
Yeah. I'm
He's
trying to
scared
get
of the
him to come back.
conversation.
Yeah.
Hey, we know that cities like, I mean, you from Philly, I'm from DC. We know that where we're from, there's a high homicide number typically every year. And we just have to acknowledge that in some of these cities, a lot of this crime is happening, and it ain't, like I say all the time, white people ain't coming in these neighborhoods and shooting at black people. That's not how it's going down. I know because I was there.
There's a root cause for that, Trey.
The root cause is that we don't have enough affinity for one another to not take each other's lives. I may not agree with everything you do. I might not even like Dre. You may even take some of my territory. I ain't gotta kill you though. We have to figure out something else rather than the
Black
first
men are killing black men at an alarming rate because they're growing up in single parent homes. A lot of them are angry that dad wasn't there. They feel disrespected by society because they don't have the same opportunities as a white boy would have when they try to go look for a job, right?
Yeah, no, we really gotta correct some shit, right? Because you acting like there ain't no poor trailer trash white people that sit back and watch TV and drink and smoke meth and ain't doing shit.
Chris Rock had a great joke. He said
Wait
that
a
there's a
minute.
poor white busboy that would rather stay white versus be my black ass, and I'm rich. He'd
Chris
rather
Rock
ride it out being white than being me.
Chris Rock, the liberal, the same man that got smacked by another man on national television.
You do realize he has but he has a condition. He has a dyslexia. He doesn't read body language like everybody else does. His brother talked about it.
So that's
Can you have Dre? Can you have Dre explain what opportunities he hasn't gotten that white people had?
He's moving the goalpost. I'm asking. I want him to tell me what.
I'm not moving the goalposts.
How could
Can you go to college, Dre?
Say it again.
Can you go to college?
Yeah.
Yes.
That don't
Can
mean
you take out a loan?
That don't mean that.
Can you take out a loan?
Wait,
Can you buy a home?
But hold up. That doesn't mean I can go to the college I want to go to.
Yeah, okay, so
what if I want to go to the best college? What if I want to go to Harvard?
Are your grades good enough? Are your SAT scores good enough?
Listen.
What you going?
That's not the only way you get into these schools. What about the legacy kids?
You got to qualify.
Okay, so that means at some point in time that their family did it. So why don't you start it off? Because your family don't have the legacy, right?
No.
So that means you need to start the legacy.
I wonder how the legacy started, though.
Doesn't matter.
It does matter.
No, it doesn't.
I'm about to step off, but this is the problem, Arpain. You're too busy worried about everybody else.
Yeah.
Why don't you get your grades up, get your SAT scores up, get into the school, and now you're a legacy. Now you can start it.
But Trey, you know what's funny? This is the same argument as
I'm about to leave. Dre, I promise.
Why don't you pull yourself up by your bootstraps?
What other choice do you have, Dre?
Boots? How the hell?
Dre, what other choice do you have? What other choice do you have? You think the federal government's gonna help you? You think they're gonna help you?
No.
What other choice do you have? You have no other choice than to do the work and do it yourself, pull your own.
Listen,
you have no other choice.
I agree with you on that. I agree with you.
Okay, so when I say things like
but
you get
just
the good
because
grades and you get the SAT scores and you get into the school, so then you can start a legacy. I may disagree with either man, but one thing I will give that man credit for, he put in the work.
Yeah,
he put in the work. I gotta respect that. We can disagree on a lot of other things, but I can never take away from him that he was willing to put in the work. You got to put in the work. And we've come to a place in the Black community where we feel like we don't need to put in the work anymore because, well, we're gonna get a handout, affirmative action, DEI, and all this other nonsense. We're gonna get a handout.
We shouldn't look for a handout, but we
Reparations, all
should
this
look
other
for the
nonsense.
same opportunities. We should look for the same fair treatment as everybody else is getting.
Ain't nothing in this world fair. That's your problem.
Yeah,
I'm out, R-Pain. Good topic. I'll see you next week.
All right, R-Pain. I gotta go too. I gotta finish some work.
Man, we gotta listen.
Good
By the fact,
conversation.
let me tell you this. I went to the University of Buffalo, right?
All right.
My daughter got in at a full scholarship because I went there. I was the legacy fund. They put that on her application when they accepted her because I went there. So they were going to give her a 95% scholarship.
But I'll say this to you, R-Pain. You're the exception. You're not the rule.
It doesn't matter. The fact that I'm, first of all, you could call me the exception, but I'm not. I'm not rich. I'm just a regular guy who just said, I'm not going to fall prey to the bullshit. And I know I had to make my own thing.
Let me ask you something, though, R-Pain. Are most people the product of the environment? Majority.
If they let themselves be. Because
no. That's not what I asked you. It's a yes or no question. It's a yes or no question.
Most people are a product of their environment.
That's
that's not where the question stops.
But
they don't have to stay there because
it's the same reason why you wouldn't hang around broke people. They can pull you down.
But hold on for a second. When you say a question like, are you a product of your environment, for what your environment was and for how long? Because if your environment was bad, what did you do to get out of that? Right? I lived in Southeast Bronx. I was around the gangs. I was around the drugs. I didn't stay there. I had to get out.
Eat a man. Stop eating on the show.
No, man. Hey, go ahead, eat a man. What's that to say? Hey, you know my man up here, Mr. Ultra Liberal?
Yeah, I hear this delusional ass dude. He's talking about some white people got. Do you think white people better than you, bro? That's what I came up with.
No, I don't think white people better than me. I think white people have better opportunities than me.
Explain it to me. Help me understand so I can try to come to the liberal side. What opportunities do you think white people have that you don't?
We just talked about it with the legacy. Do they not have more opportunities to be a legacy student than anybody else?
No, we all got the opportunity to be a legacy student.
No. We're not talking about what can go forward. We're talking about right now.
No, they don't.
So there are not more white people that have legacy, especially in these higher institutions, in your Harvards, your Stanfords, your UPenns.
See, that's the problem with you is that Harvard is not telling black people they can't come to their college.
Just because you don't say it out loud doesn't mean it's not happening.
No. Tell me the year that Harvard said that they're not accepting black students anymore.
I just said it to you. Just because they're not saying it out loud doesn't mean they're not doing it.
No, you can't get away with that, man. They ain't saying it, man. They're not saying it.
See, all right, man, I got some work to finish. I'm gonna holler at you later. You made it was nice talking to you.
What's up, man? About him is that he's a liar. Like he tried to pull a strongman argument and say legacy. Legacy have 100% to do with the people who came before you. Have nothing to do with other races. It's crazy that in 2025 we have black men talking about our legacy is this way because of another man. Do you know how crazy that sounds?
It's sad, man. It's sad. It's keeping us down, brother. It's keeping us down. So, man, what brings you over here, man? Just slumming?
Yeah, I'm just up here listening to all this craziness. Talk about
man. I was about to cut out, man, until this guy came up. I said, man, I can't leave on this note. When he put that message to me, I said, wait a minute.
Yeah, I get it. Dude came over here with a bonnet, and we normally don't see men in bonnets, so we had to make special exceptions and stuff. I get it. I just, in reality, what it really
ask you a question. What do you think about D.O.G.E? I know you're conservative. What do you think about the first 30-something days, man, since you're here? Man, topic, and how does it look for the future of black men in America? When I say men, I mean men and women.
Well, I think first of all, the one thing that people are upset about DOGE is that they're being transparent. They're coming out with the information fast, right? That's one thing I love. One thing that Elon Musk said was that I am literally going to come out with the information really fast. I might misspell it, but I want to be transparent with you guys to let you know what we're doing.
Right.
See, what we done seen in this country is 100 years and having no clue what the government is doing. And now that we have this transparency, people are upset about it because they're responding to this in real time.
Right.
So
Right.
I kind of like it.
Okay.
I do think that Trump was transparent. He said he got some checks and balances. For example, if it's anything to do with like an audit with something that Elon Musk companies might be involved with, he's going to make sure that he's not doing those type audits. But we see all this fraud is going on. Fraud been going on. The crazy part about it, I've been hearing black people for years talk about how bad the government is. And then as soon as the government start trying to do something about the government, now they don't. Now they want to choose the person that does the audit. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we got to pick our struggles. What I learned is you can't make nobody happy. It don't matter if we audit the government or they kept getting away with fraud. We have no idea what happened the last 4 years. No idea.
Well, because we didn't have a president for probably for 3 of those years. He wasn't making no decisions. He wasn't signing any shit, man.
So we literally don't have no idea what was happening. Now we know what's happening in real time. We typically know what's happening within 7 days. That happened in the 7 days. We get like a 7-day report, almost updated on a normal basis of what's happening. And what it really come out. You know why I don't understand why people are so so mad about DEI. DEI was never for black people. It was for white women.
Absolutely.
I don't know why.
Not now. Definitely is a white woman's thing.
I don't know why we decided we wanted to be the poster child for DEI when we was like 4th or 5th option. If it came down to a white woman versus a black man, they chose the white woman every time because she was still considered DEI. So like that's why we just choose bad struggles, man. We choose bad struggles, and it just doesn't make sense in reality on why people are saying the stuff that they're saying.
Well, I mean, it's the fact that and de facto by the fact that there's always a black face and mostly a woman, but Al Sharpton is one of those guys who are talking about DEI so much, we've become the de facto big antagonist against DEI going away. Like we're the face of it because black people made us the face of it by arguing the boycotts and all that. And so when you see a black person or a black man in a high place, not me, but a lot of people say, is he there because of DEI? And I think that's worse. I think that's worse than the other way around. I mean, I think that when you get merit, you want people to say, I'm here because of merit, right? And black people need to come out and say that shit.
Well, I think what black people have to do, instead of us asking a spot on the white man's table, we just need to create our own table.
Your own table. Yeah.
I know people like, I was having this conversation with one of my business partners today. He said, hey, he was like, hey, Emmanuel, you so intelligent, you can go and make 2-3 times the amount of money working for a white man, right? I ain't got no problem with people who do that. But I told him, why would I do that when 85% of my employees are black? And I have created an opportunity for black people. It's not after a certain money, it's not about the money. It's about how am I going to be able to be the change that I have? Because if you come to my company, it look like the white people are the DEI hires because we 90%. We can really we can change our whole reality if we decide that we're going to participate. We got to stop saying, pick me and let me run your company. Like people don't understand how crazy that sounds when you say you should turn over what your family built over the last 100 years so that my family can run it. It just sounds retarded.
I hear you, man. So we just need a new way of thinking, but we have to be able to be free and have our mind open enough to do that. And the way most black people think and vote and their allegiance so to the far left makes some of that free thinking almost impossible.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm saying, well, you guys got to think differently. I had a conversation with my daughter the other day. She finally listened to me a little bit, because I'm not, because I've been voting Democrat my whole life, man, until I voted for Hillary Clinton. I still can't believe I did that shit.
Mm-hmm.
And that was over Trump, so in this just short period of time, I got off the Democratic plantation because most of my family, I didn't even know why I was voting for these freaking guys.
Yeah. But you gotta understand that Black people didn't really change. Like you look at the percentage of how many Black people still voted Democrat.
Yes,
What they really showed us, RP, the Black vote don't matter.
Well, I did the numbers. I did a show here, and I put all those numbers down. If 100% of us who voted for Kamala, she still would have lost every state except one, and that was going to be about a slim margin. She would have lost 6 states. So yeah, so that's why they're flooding these immigrants.
That's what it come down to is why we keep trying to play a losing game. We're not going to convince white people to do something for us. Like we've been trying to convince it for the last 100 years. Now the best thing is, okay, this is how America is, right? And even that I'm conservative, I understand it's not. I don't think that it is common for a person to want their own group to succeed. That's why we want Black people to succeed because we Black. But if we was white, we would be having a different conversation. That's just part of the idea.
Absolutely.
So how about we say this right here? Let's take our couple dollars. Let's put it aside. Let's start building something where nobody can take it away from us. I get the stuff that happened in Oklahoma and the stuff that happened in New York. I get what happened, but if we build something that nobody can take away from us, what it happens is we can start building this true legacy wealth that everybody talk about. So I'm just a big advocate. I'm a big advocate of not really looking for handouts and creating handouts.
I agree with that. I think one of the big problem we have is as Black people in mass, we don't trust each other. To make long, I mean, in a big enough number, I mean, there are coalitions of Black folks doing shit. I mean, and sharing, being good business partners. But I don't think we have enough of that. Right?
Well, no, the problem with most of us is that what we do is we try to compare the worst of us to the best of them, right? If you look at if I was to take out the top 10% income, like the top 10% owners in Black and white people, and I focus on the bottom 90%, white people are not doing that much better than us than we think.
Oh, no, I agree with that. I agree with that.
We talking a couple cheeseburgers and some fries difference. It's not like a big difference, especially from a pay point of view. And so what we got to understand is, yes, if we try to compare like the Elon Musk, for example, like people don't understand how many Black billionaires. Listen, the best place for a Black man to be in the world is the United States.
Absolutely, I agree with that.
So it's nowhere else in the world that Black men have the opportunity that they have. But what we want to do is, it's almost like I remember my dad used to always tell me this. I used to always like my sister didn't eat her food, and my dad said, "Focus on your plate. You need to focus on your plate," and that stuck with me from growing up. Is that we need to focus on what's on our plate. Let's stop saying what's on the white man plate. And the white man got steak, and we got chicken. How about we focus on the chicken that's on our plate? Like we really got to change that mindset. We have to.
Yeah, well, I think what we're going through is a transition. I really believe it now. I think it's key that the Republicans win in the midterms because that gives us a chance of momentum where we had 10% Black men were off the plantation, right? Almost 20%, because 80% voted for Kamala. But by 2028, if we can get that number to like 40%, 30 to 40%, that would be really, that means we may never go back unless we start getting things out of the Democrats that matter to us.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? Because I would never vote for them again unless I can see that they're changing or they're.
Yeah. So I'm not big on parties. Like I kind of get like people say we should be conservative.
If you vote, okay.
I'm a really big on policies and different things like that. So I think we're going to see a new Democrat in the next election. So I think that the Republicans are going to take the midterm elections for the simple fact that I think that they're going to drop those stimulus check, refund checks, dividends checks, whatever you want to call it. I think they're going to drop it at the end of 2025, right at 2026 before the election. So there's going to be a lot of buzz that the Republicans doing something when they drop them checks, right? I think it's going to be very strategic. I think it's definitely going to be political, right? So I think they're going to win it. But I believe that we're about to see a new age of both parties. I think we're about to see a new age of the Republican Party. We're going to see a younger
right now, though. We're seeing it, right?
And we're going to see a restructuring of the Democrat Party. One thing you got to understand, I don't care what nobody say about the Democrats, when you get punched in the face like they just got punched in the face, they're coming with a new strategy.
Well, did you see the DNC when they were trying to hire the new guy? That don't look like no new shit to me, man.
I get what you're saying, but I'm just telling you, it's a reason I'm just telling you, I think they're gonna come with someone young. I think they're gonna come with someone who
that we haven't seen yet.
Yep, somebody who can speak conservative stuff, but talk about the pains of the, you know what I'm saying, the pains of the Democratic the side. I just think we're gonna see something different. It's definitely, in my opinion, the next election in 4 years, it's gonna be a breath of fresh air. And I think it all depends on how they position themselves going forward.
So you don't think it's gonna be Jasmine Crockett?
I think it's gonna be some people we never seen before.
It's gotta be somebody we haven't seen yet. And that person is gonna have to be willing to throw some of those far left kooks under the bus.
Yeah, I think it's gonna have to be, because I believe we're gonna have the next Democrat person that run. They're gonna be a hybrid, right? They're gonna be able to be a hybrid between the two. Because you gotta understand, I think the Republican gonna stay extreme because it's working. Why would you change it, right? This will be somebody still young in the stream, just like Donald Trump. But then I think for the Democrats can say, hey, let me kind of cater to these formers. Let me start catering to these people who got really hurt over these last 4 years. Because we do know that it's people who voted for Trump that's upset because they got caught up. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Everybody going to jail. I don't know if you ever seen the drug bust. Everybody in the house going to jail.
Yeah.
Like, well, I wasn't here selling drugs. I was just doing drugs. I was just here because my cousin had me here. And it's a lot of people with the D.O.G.E audit. They was what we call bystanders, or what is it called when a stray bullet hit them?
What you call it? Collateral damage.
That is collateral damage. But you gotta say you gotta close the faucet to fix the problem.
But let me put it this way: it's a good deal. A lot of those people are liberals.
Well, it's a lot of liberals who came over. So you gotta understand the reason Trump won like they won, because there was a lot of people who was former liberals who came over. But you got
independents who might have leaned liberal came over.
Yeah. So because you gotta understand, when he first cut off, you gotta understand. I got a lot of family, right? So I had got calls. I had got calls from my family that runs daycares.
Yeah.
He cut my check off. I had my like it was a lot of people who was dependent on the government at a large scale, and they wouldn't do anything wrong. But when Trump cut it off, he didn't go through. See, people think that when he cut everything off, he just said, we're not going to give it to this person, this person, this person. No, he was cutting.
No doubt.
He cut the whole industry off, and then what he was.
He got new enemies. He created some new enemies who put him in office. Now it's still a numbers game, but you know.
But what what everybody ain't talking about, how he cut those, or how he, after they patched it up, they started turning it back on for people who was legit, people that was this. So he cut everything off and slowly started turning it on. Nobody want to talk about the people who getting the checks, because people getting checks right now, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I know about that.
They might got cut off in January, and they starting to, not only they getting checks, they getting back checks of money that they was owed, right?
Yeah, exactly.
So that's a lot of people. They want it right now. They want their money right now, and they mad about it. That's just, it is what it is.
Well, I mean, listen. Okay, so let me just throw this out at you. It's not him, but we're talking about what you're talking about for the Dems is like a Stephen A. Smith kind of guy.
Yep, absolutely.
Right? Okay.
We're gonna see this next election. They said, "Hey, we saw Cam. She didn't have the gift of gab. I think we're gonna have somebody who got the gift of gab, who can really articulate themselves but still push the agenda." See, the problem with this election is the Democrats have always hid their strategy. They always hit their strategy. Like you go back years and years, you say, "What was your strategy?" And they say they didn't know, right? And then she kind of exposed what the strategy was and what was going to happen, and a lot of people wouldn't own it. So I think it's going to be somebody who can say a lot of words that really don't mean nothing. I think it's going to be somebody who can speak freely. Like it's going to be somebody who understands the Democrat fight without somebody having to script them to tell them what to say, without a doubt.
I mean, we're in for some interesting time, man. I'm telling you, man. This first 30 days, like on my channel, I'm doing like political reactions. So when my girl has her press conferences and she has people up there, I'll do a reaction to that or a few other things. It's so much content you could talk about because you pretty much I have an opinion about everything. I don't have to be right all the time, but it's just a lot to talk about. You know, and I do have, politics is in my title, so I got to talk about it.
So what do you think about old girl getting laid off? Was she at NBC?
Joy Reid and MSNBC. Listen, man. You know what? She was, first of all, she was a racist. She was and I don't call black people racist, but if there was a black racist and you could define it, it would be Joy Reid. I mean, if you listen to some of the shit she says, the only reason why she was able to get away with it is because somehow black racism doesn't get treated like white. I mean, she would be like almost like David Duke up there talking about black people. She said some foul shit, but that's part of it. I listened to her a little bit enough to know, and I've seen a lot of clips of her.
So what about they're replacing her with, who is it? Simone
Sanders, the big girl, and the black DNC, Richard Steele, not Richard Steele, but Steele, and another lady. So it's not a racist move to take her out of there.
We can't say. Let me tell you why we can't say it's racist, because they offer her. They said, "Hey, they reviewed the ratings,
right?"
And they said, "Hey, after reviewing the ratings, we can see that you was not bringing as much money," and they renegotiated her contract, and she reviewed.
Okay,
that's not a fire, by the way. That's just not come to a mutual agreement. That's what that is. But to hear there, that's not important. But the whole point that I'm trying to understand is now, because they replaced it with a black woman, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So how can we pull the race card if one black woman lose a job and another black woman get a job?
Well, not only just a black woman and a black man, because it's a team of people. It's a threesome, a team of three.
Yeah.
Right.
So I think that's what it really comes down to, is that we got
who's calling it racism. Who's saying it? I mean, it's the race baiters are calling it a racist move, but it's not. It really is not. It's just a business move.
Yeah, I just think that so what we're seeing, though, even like the what's this guy, the 4-star general.
Yeah.
Like we got one thing I really hope that we get to a point, our pain, that we're not saying that everything is about race.
Of course,
it seemed like we get black folks. Hey, check this out. Little Susie at McDonald's got fired, even though she was late to work 8 times. It had to be racist. You know what I'm saying? We know little Johnny daddy owned the restaurant. He was late 4 times. Why did little Johnny get fired? And it's like, because little Johnny white. No, because his daddy owned the restaurant.
Well, let me put it to you this. I talked about that before you came early on, because Anissa had a question on that, right? I said, listen, they fired him because his ideology is not of the old administration, not this one. I said, so just like a coach, just like a general manager coming to a team, he wants to hire his own quarterback. He wants to, not his own quarterback, but his own coach. Yep. Somebody who wants to follow his program, and the old regime might not be there. So you're not giving me my first thing. So Trump looked at his thing, and a lot of his planks had to do with DEI.
Yeah, but I think what we don't talk about is in 2016, Donald Trump put him in the position.
I didn't even know that.
Yeah. So this is the crazy part. Donald Trump can hire you and put you in position, but he don't have the power to fire you and take you out of position. That is crazy.
That is crazy. I mean, that's only because the people, these people saying, you know, he got rid of him. No, he's replacing him.
Yeah, he's replacing him like that. And I think that's the key. Is I have seen CEOs come in and they always bring their own assistant. They typically always bring their own CFO. They bring people in that is a part of their team that's going to push their agenda. They don't want to have to fight with somebody old way of thinking.
There's no doubt. So that's just business. And the other thing is, we don't need to cry for this guy. He's gonna be all right. You know what I'm saying? He's not.
I think he had like year 35 in the military. Like
year 40.
He's gonna be okay, huh?
I think 40.
Yeah. He's gonna be all right. Listen,
they're gonna snatch him up, and he's gonna have some kind of seat on some board somewhere, making $500,000 a year.
Well, I was told that he didn't get kicked out of the military. He just lost that.
He'll probably retire though. He'll probably retire.
Yeah. So
I think those guys. I don't think those guys. And that's right. He's not kicked out of the military, but he's not going to go and now take orders from somebody. That's your cue.
Yeah, you got to understand. Like at 4-star generals, he ain't taking that many orders anyway.
Yeah, but he ain't gonna stick around, man. He says, this is my cue to leave. I mean, you know what I'm saying? I just tell you, I mean, as a government worker myself, I've had a job for the Department of Defense. At some point, when you're at retirement age, and if you're somewhere for 40 years, even if you love what you do, if they're replacing you, that's probably your cue and your sign from God. If you speak, it's time for me to go. Time for me to do something else with my life. And that's what I would not stay in the military after that. Not because I'm embarrassed, but it's time to move on.
Yeah. But that's the other thing is we just got to be mindful that we can't cheer when somebody get promoted and then, try to persecute or tear people down when somebody get fired.
Right.
Like, because that's almost like the one thing that happens to most employees, that the day you got hired, it's almost a day guaranteed that you're going to lose that job or get fired.
At some point, listen, man, the whole thing also is for every 1 or 2 or 3 or 4 black people that has to leave because Trump is in, there's hundreds of white people leaving. He's firing hundreds of white people.
Mm-hmm.
In strategic places, those IGs and all that, those are mostly whites. So it's not a racial thing, I also said earlier in my stream that the reason why black women and women in general from the left and feminists don't like Trump, because he's a unapologetically male. He doesn't give a shit. They don't like a man like that because they've been spending all this time trying to effeminate men. So when a man who's unapologetic about being a man, when they're faced with that kind of guy, they don't like it. And let me just say this last one. That's the same reason why a lot of blackity blacks don't like him, because he's unapologetic about being white.
No, I just think that most people who don't like it is because they feel like he was too successful. People don't understand it. People okay with you being successful. They don't want you to be too successful, right? They okay with, like people like, especially black people, they okay with you going to make 100,000, but they don't want you to make a couple million. You got to understand that. I'm just telling you, that mirror come up to your face and you're like, I'm really doing this bad. The more people do great, And so I think it is. I still to this day, I don't understand why black people, quote unquote, don't like what's going on, because this is the first change we see. Is it like I just don't understand, like, why is it like everybody said we needed something new, we needed change, we need all this, and then all this change is happening, and now we have this resistance.
Well, black people don't like that change, because now they see that the blankets that they used to are being taken off, the covers are being removed.
That's what I'm saying. Black people, it wasn't really black people working for the government. Like I'm telling you, like, I know the numbers, bro.
We're not talking just about black people in the government. We're talking about black people in general, right? I mean, if you're talking about the government workers, that's one thing.
Well, but I'm just saying. So, have you ever been to Target before?
Yeah, of
How many
course.
black people you see in Target?
Yeah, I mean, the Target I went to was probably more blacks than usual. This is in a black area.
I've done been to a lot of Target. I don't see a whole bunch of black people working at Target. I see most.
Oh, you talking about working? Oh, yeah, yeah. I ain't paying attention. I haven't been in Target for years, but still, yeah. But in my area, that's enough.
I just think that this is the best time. Hey, if you don't want us to shop at your Target or this, that, and third, let's create our own Target. Let's create our own Walmart. Let's, if we really don't do it, let's do it. Or are we gonna stay on the plantation and keep complaining? There's a lot of people on the there's a lot of people on the plantation complaining. How many of y'all willing to run away from the plantation? How many of y'all really willing to go to the north? You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, even when they freed slavery, there's a lot of guys didn't want to leave. A lot of them stayed a lot of them stayed there. You know, so I don't know, man. It's just one of those kind of things. We'll see. I think these 4 years are going to be very interesting. You know, the first 2 years are going to be mostly interesting, but if he passes the midterms, the second one, and I think they're going to run JD Vance for 2028.
I think that's going to be an interesting perspective. I don't know. Like I don't know. I just think that both people coming out with new people. I think that both people gonna say, "Hey, well, it depends." I think JD, especially if Trump is able to accomplish half of the stuff he wants to, JD is definitely gonna run. Right? We'll see. We gonna see what it comes down to. But
Okay.
I think that we're gonna see a breath of fresh air.
Better see something from the Democrats. Better come up with a new face. What's going on, Braxton? What's happening, man?
But all right, let me eat, man. I'm just getting home from work. But
all right, man. Yeah, I'm gonna try this. I was supposed to get out of here almost an hour ago, but I'm glad you guys came up, man.
Yeah, but yeah, so it was good. I had to listening to old Bandit Man talk about white people gonna do something more than it's really come down to that. A lot of black people think white folks better than them.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Yeah. So when people keep saying hold him accountable, right? Let me talk to Marcus, since Marcus like spectating and not hitting links real quick. That's the spectator market, right?
Let's ask Marcus over here.
Yeah. The question that you got asked is how are we not holding D.O.G.E accountable right now? How are we not holding Donald Trump accountable right now? Like listen, if any president have ever been held accountable, it's Donald Trump. We see clip after clip. You said this, and it's less than 30 days in. He ain't did it yet. I seen a video the other day. It's like he been in there for 30 days, and we ain't seen gas prices go to hell yet.
The price of eggs is still up, man. I mean, come on, it's crazy. It's absolutely crazy, man. You guys are going crazy.
Yeah, so like, we have never seen a president in 30 days accomplish everything that he ran on in 30 days. Like usually they at least let you get out your first year. But we talk about 30 days, like we're gonna hold him accountable. We're gonna do full lives about what he did and what he haven't did in his 30 days. So I just think it comes down to we holding him accountable. Like even
what's going on, Anton?
When he been doing stuff, I've been having conversations like, hey, I want him to clean this up. I think that these are some things he need to improve in. Like, so I'm even with my vote, I'm hoping and having expectations that Trump are going to do these things. Now, do I think he might fall short of everything he said in his campaign? Absolutely. But I'm still expecting him to do. In reality, he's doing exactly what he said he was going to do.
Absolutely, exactly what he said he'd do. I mean, it's crazy. He damn sure is.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna let you close up the show. Appreciate you having me up here. Next time we're gonna start charging Bandit Man to come up here with all that bad narrative.
Oh my God! I'm glad he stopped it, man. I needed some, some fun, some, comical fun, man. Mr. Liberal. All right, man. Thanks a lot, brother.
Yeah.
I'm
gonna say these last words.
Yeah, final words, man. What's got?
I'm gonna say this right here, Black man. Let me ask you a question. What have being a Democrat got you? It sounds like it got you a lot of excuses and a lot of complaining. I've never seen anybody come from the Democrat perspective who don't complain and don't talk about the handouts.
I agree. I'm with you, man. I'm with you. Yeah, that's why we got to change and get off that plantation, man. All right, brother. We'll talk. Well, so that was good, man. We had some people come up. Hey, listen, for all you guys, I know some of you guys came a little late. I appreciate you coming, Marcus and Antoine and Lois. So we're gonna get out. I'm gonna get out of here. Call it quit for the night. And it's another one of good BMU special with the Boomer Show. I appreciate the guys coming up. Trey was up here. Another brother named Trey, and we had a good time. So with that, I'm gonna say good night.